Right, I could have left this one to the morning, couldn't I? I probably should have left this one to the morning because the lighting's not great in here. I'm not going to lie, I have had a few drinks and maybe the words will be a little bit slurred. But after watching that match, I had to jump on and I had to speak to you guys about Chelsea against Brighton. And I'm not going to say it. But if you lot want to say it in the comment section below, you can say it. Because there will be a sizable amount of fans right now, whether you're a Chelsea fan, whether you're a Premier League fan, or whether you're just a sports fan, that believe that Chelsea could be cooking up something very, very special this year. Now, if Man City get these points deducted, get these charges put against them, which, listen, I'm not hoping they get that at all, or am I? But something could happen here. Something really could happen here, and Chelsea could find themselves by hook or by crook in a title race, because this game was brilliant. The ball was in the back of the net about 15 times, by the way, and let's be honest, Chelsea showed what I think we have all worked out by this point that Chelsea are, and that is a team that have individual brilliance spread all over the pitch. It is a team, by the way, that are not above criticism. It is a team that do need to very much work on some of the clear frailties that we have when it comes to the defending, when it comes to the organisation amongst the defence, when it comes to playing out from the back at times, which I have been very vocal upon saying that I believe we have done so well to this point in time in this Premier League season so far, and today those vulnerabilities were shown. But I tell you what else was shown. Chelsea are one of the best pressing teams in the league. Chelsea are one of the best counter-attacking teams in the league, and Chelsea are absolutely phenomenal going forward against teams that come to play football against us. But before we get into all that, people, welcome back to the Joey Knight podcast. If you are new around here, I promise if you subscribe to the channel, for 99.9% of the videos that I put out off this channel, I will be sober. But today, let's raise a drink for the fact that Chelsea have just gone and smashed Brighton. We wouldn't have it any other way, would we? Subscribe to the channel, like the video, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's get into today's game. Now, this is the starting lineup that we went with, and I didn't even need to make a new graphic because myself and the big dog, Josh Aveste, who was at today's match, absolutely smashed this one out the park. We predicted the starting lineup, we got the starting lineup right, and Enzo Maresca got our starting lineup right because we went out there and tore Brighton to pieces. A 4-2 scoreline does not reflect the game or how this game should have gone, because we had the ball in the back of the net, 7 times, something like that, and a couple of them, maybe, okay, shouldn't have been given, but a couple of them should have been given. So let's talk through the game itself, and I'll tell you what, right, I really was fearful for Chelsea at the start of this game because, as I said before, all good things must come to an end. And fortunately for us today, it was Brighton's winning streak, or unbeaten streak, I should say, that came to an end. But it couldn't have really started off much worse for us, could it? 5 minutes in, Matoma, who is a player I rate very, very highly, by the way. If we are ever in short stock of wingers, which we haven't been for about 15, 20 years, I'll very much be happy to go out and buy him. Not out my own pocket, out of Todd Bowley's pocket, if that's okay. But he cuts the ball back. Caicedo, I think it is, he intercepts it in the box. Now, we're going with this whole playing out from the back narrative, and the whole playing out from the back narrative has suited us quite well up until now. Caicedo puts it back to Levi Colwill. Levi Colwill could have probably passed it, he could have probably took a touch, but he does what I used to like to do in the old school playground, which is toe punt the ball, and in doing so, it hits a Brighton player, it hits someone in the ball, and then it's Rutter it falls to. He heads the ball in. Now, there's two men that were at fault here. The first was Robert Sanchez. But I wouldn't say Robert Sanchez was as at fault as Levi Colwill was, because Levi Colwill's the one that gives away the ball. Ultimately, Robert Sanchez misjudges his distance and how quickly he can get to the ball. He tries to punch it out. Leave the punching to me, Robert Sanchez. You just do your job and keep the clean sheets, which he didn't in this match. But, who is it? Rutter? It was Rutter, wasn't it? Yeah, Rutter, if I'm pronouncing that right. He heads the ball in. I still think, even though it was an empty net, that Levi Colwill could have done a little bit better. If it was Luis Suarez, he'd have gone for it with a hand. Do you know what I mean? But then Luis Suarez wouldn't have been playing in defence. And 15 minutes or so into the game, he'd have probably already been sent off for biting someone. So either way, the playing out from the back came back to bite us in the arse at that point. And do you know what? 15 minutes in or so to this game, Chelsea still not offering too much in the way of chances. Jadon Sancho's having a good game. Jadon Sancho showing Ten Hag for the absolute muppet that he is, because Jadon Sancho's an absolute baller, and he's great, and we get on to speaking about him. But at that point, we hadn't really done all that much. And there was a point when Levi Colwill and Robert Sanchez almost combined again for an absolute calamity, had it not been for Robert Sanchez pulling off a great reflex save, because the ball's drilled in along the box. Now, Levi Colwill tries to get a toe to it, and it ends up going in the direction of the goal. Robert Sanchez is there to make a reflex save. We were very, very lucky to not go 2-0 down there. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is where the game turned on its head, because just minutes later, we do start to show some of our class, maybe for the first time in the match when it comes to attacking wise, because Cole Palmer sees a beautiful ball threaded through to him. He beats the keeper with a left-footed finish, but he doesn't manage to beat the woodwork. It ends up coming back off of the post, and then within moments, he rights the wrongs, because he scores a goal. Beautiful goal, great goal. It's ruled out for offside. And do you know what? I'm not going to complain about it. I watched it back, the VAR, I was in the VAR control room at the time, watched it back, it probably was offside, so I'm not going to complain about it all that much. But a minute or so later, the enigma, Nicholas Jackson, gets another goal contribution, because he goes through on goal and he almost looks like he's going to fuck it up for a minute in there. And he does this quite a lot, Nicholas Jackson. He has those moments when you think, oh, God, Jacko, are you going to ruin this here? He doesn't. He puts it onto Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer puts it in the back of the net. 1-1 against Brighton. Very, very happy for another goal contribution from Nicholas Jackson. Not long after that, Jadon Sancho manages to get his first Chelsea goal. But at the same time as that, who steps in? Our little friend, VAR. Sorry, people, but I had to take a sip of my drink there, because I absolutely hate these lot. They are absolutely awful. VAR, get rid of them. Because I openly admitted that the Cole Palmer one was rightly so ruled out for offside, but the Jadon Sancho one definitely shouldn't have been. I don't think it was offside. And despite the fact that Brighton had a decent start to the match, by the 25-minute mark, man, Chelsea were just absolutely frightening going forward. Jadon Sancho, by the way, having a brilliant game to this point, and he manages, with a little bit of link-up play, to be able to win himself a penalty. That penalty is taken by Cole Palmer. Who better to have a penalty being taken by, because he's got a 100% record at senior level, and that record stays at 100%. He beats the Brighton goalkeeper. He puts Chelsea 2-1 up in the game. Was it 2-1 up at that time? I think it should. I think it should have been 2-0 up. Should, would, could. It was 2-1. I'm pretty sure it was 2-1. You can tell I've had a few beers here, can't you? Anyway, this is one of the craziest matches I've seen, because after Sancho having one disallowed, Palmer having one disallowed, Palmer hitting one in, Palmer scoring a penalty, he gets another chance, he gets a set piece, and it's Palmer and Malo Gusto stood over the set piece, and Cole Palmer just basically, do you know what? I've got a little bit of a telepathic thing here going on with Cole Palmer at the moment. And when the ball was put down for the free kick, I remember just thinking what was going through his head. And do you know what was going through his head? He just very casually said to himself, fuck it, I'm Cole Palmer. So he just hits it, top bins, left foot, straight into the corner. Bang! There you go, Bob's your uncle. Second goal of the match for Cole Palmer. Was it his second? No, it weren't. It was his third. I think it was his third goal of the match. It was his third goal of the match, wasn't it? Cole Palmer scores the free kick. 3-1 to Chelsea. Happy days. And do you know what? In my opinion, this was probably one of Cole Palmer's best goals in a Chelsea shirt, to be honest, you know. And he had one in contention for goal of the month, and I think it might have even won goal of the month against Wolves. Well, this one's going to be in contention for goal of the month this month, because Cole Palmer, this is the mad thing, and this shows the levels of this boy, right? We're talking about Cole Palmer potentially having a slow start to the season. He scored 4 today. He got 5 goal contributions against Wolves. This boy is absolutely ridiculous. And as much as Pep Guardiola has done in football, it makes me doubt his actual footballing brain and his tactical ability to be able to even let Cole Palmer go. But their loss is our gain, and I am very, very much here for it. But going from the beauty of what Chelsea can do under Enzo Maresca moves us on to some of the frailties. Once again, it's playing out from the back. Once again, it's Robert Sanchez that gives the ball away again, and then Chelsea concede. It makes it 3-2 on the scoreline. And when it is 3-2, I'm honestly starting to get a little bit nervy. There's a few guys around me watching the match, and you know, they're not all Chelsea fans. I'm sure they'd love to banter me if Chelsea were to slip up. But Cole Palmer, once again, makes it 4-2. He scores another goal, and this one was assisted by Jadon Sancho. Now, I had a few people disagree with me when I put Jadon Sancho in the starting lineup for this match, and they said, nah, Pedro Neto's done enough, or maybe put Palmer on the right and take Noni Madueke out. But ultimately, not to blow my own trumpet, but if there was a trumpet here, I would be blowing it, because I was right. Jadon Sancho gets an assist, and Jadon Sancho shows his class once again. Cole Palmer scoring another goal, and he must be up there with the top goal scorers now in the Premier League, is he not? He's got to be somewhere around there. But listen, Chelsea, 4 goals in this game, right? We had the ball in the back of the net about 7 times. Our attack, our front 4 is absolutely electric. Noni Madueke, Cole Palmer, Jadon Sancho, Nicholas Jackson, all getting goals and assists, not just in this match, but in the Premier League so far. We're scoring goals for fun. We're 3rd in the league. We'd have been 2nd if Arsenal hadn't had the late comeback. But apparently, according to Jamie Carragher, we are not a young, exciting team. So, you know, listen, I don't think Jamie Carragher would lie. He was spitting facts when he said that. I mean, he was definitely spitting something at some point in time, but let's not go into that one. Listen, second half starts lively for Chelsea. Cole Palmer, man, he was just electric this game, wasn't he? He was so good. Because he puts one of the best dinked passes that I've ever seen in my life over the top to Nicholas Jackson. Nicholas Jackson rounds the keepers. And the naysayers, the haters, the burner accounts, and probably Jamie Carragher himself, will pull up the screenshot of the open goal that Nicholas Jackson missed. But sometimes a picture does not tell the full story. And I don't think that did tell the full story in that situation, because the defender did well to get across to it. Would I have wanted Nicholas Jackson to have scored that goal? Of course I would have. But I don't even think Nicholas Jackson put in that bad a display today. He was running in behind. He was giving them problems. He was pushing the defenders and running them down. And that is what I want to see from him. And listen, if I'm Enzo Maresca, right, I'm probably thinking, do you know what? We need a third. We need a third here to put the game to bed. So I'm then going to be looking at the bench. And actually, when you look at our bench, despite us having Tosin Adarabioyo on there, who's a brilliant player, really good player, we more had attacking options rather than defensive options. But sometimes the best form of offense, or the best form of defense, I should say, is offense. And to sub a few players like the ones we did on would have definitely helped us in that match. Definitely helped us give Brighton a lot more problems than they were having at that time. and therefore would have given them a lot more on their plate to deal with. Brighton were like a fat bird in this match because they really did have a lot on their plate. Anyway, Pedro Neto, João Felix, we've got them all on the bench. 69th minute, how's your luck? How is your luck? Because the best left back to ever grace the Premier League. No, let me take a sip of my drink because that's going way over the top. Completely infactual, that is. What I meant to say was the best left back to ever grace world football in Marc Cucurella manages to get the ball in the back of the net. And do you know what? I was celebrating so much that I didn't even see why it was ruled out. But it was ruled out and I was absolutely gutted because that was his last involvement. We subbed Vega on, hugely disappointed because he didn't get that goal. Now, some general thoughts from this match. And by the way, can I just keep it real with you lot? I've had about 6 pints, so I'm going to do another video tomorrow where I give you lot a bit less of an emotional take on this match and break it down a little bit more analytical. I'm going to sit back and watch the match in the morning and break it down with a little bit more expertise. Do you want to call it that? Expertise? I'm hardly an expert, but then again, I'm doing pretty well for myself at the minute. So, yeah. But what I would say is Robert Sanchez had a few howlers in this game, and he had a few of those moments that last season made me a very firm non-believer in Robert Sanchez. But he did also pull off some really good saves. Enzo Fernandez. What did I think of Enzo Fernandez today? Well, I'm not too sure because early on, I thought there were some wayward passes from him, some passes that could have cost us at times. He was subbed off in the second half, obviously. Caicedo, I always think looks good, but Enzo Fernandez, maybe not so much. I'm not too sure, but I'm not going to draw any conclusions. But do you know what it is with this Chelsea team, right? We might have a weak chin at times, defensively. It's a boxing reference I'm using here. But we've got such punch power that it will just see us through against so many teams. And when we look at the Premier League table so far, we look at the start we have made to this Premier League season. We look at Enzo Maresca, who is such a good manager on the touchline, on the sidelines. He's constantly giving instructions, motivating players. I absolutely love what he's doing at the moment. I think we're cooking here. I think we're onto something big. We're definitely finishing Champions League spots. And I'm not going to say it too early. I'm really not. We lost 2-0 against Man City. But I tell you what, when's the next big game? Liverpool. I think that's November. Might even be... I think that's November. If we go and beat the Scousers, mate, I'm saying it. We're in a title race here. I think we're going to have such a good season. I'm so happy. I'm so happy coming away from today's game because there's so many people that would have loved Chelsea to have lost today. And do you know what? I'm not going to name names, but there's people within the Chelsea fan base that would have loved Chelsea to lose today. But unfortunately, you're not going to get those clicks today because Chelsea won. And whether it was in great fashion, whether we could have defended better, I really don't give a fuck. Chelsea won. We're Chelsea fans. You're Chelsea fans watching this. So let's just be happy and let's sink a few beers to celebrate. People, I wouldn't normally do it off the back of a night out in Paphos, but I just wanted to get this video out to you lot. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of today's performances. Let me know the negatives as well as the positives, because I've been very positive, but I'm always going to be positive when I feel like this. So you lot can let me know the negatives in the comment section below. Look very much forward to reading all of your comments, and I will give you a more level-headed and less alcohol-fueled video tomorrow. Love you lot, by the way. You're a bunch of absolute legends. I will see you all in the next one.